Hello, everyone. This is Kenya Smith. I've chose to do my presentation about Sophie Germain. Let's get right to it. Born April 1st, 1776, in Paris, France, to a very well-off family. Sophie was born into the Germain household, which in this household they would hold political meetings as well as discussions of liberal reforms. So, to paint the picture for you all, we're dealing with the French Revolution at the time. In a society, she is a part of society that is on the higher, more aristocratic level. So, yes, education would be an option. Due to her gender, however, that was not going to be feasible to her due to her being a girl. Though her family wanted her not to learn, Sophie pushed on. She would go on to teach herself Greek as well as Latin and other topics, such as math, most obviously. Her father had a grand private library where he would do his studies, he would write and review documents. Most of his political ideas would come from this library. Sophie would be found in the library by her parents, which was quickly punishable because they quickly realized, as you can see in the image, what she was doing. She was studying, she was learning. Like I said, this very much upset her parents. They would take away her lights, they would take away her warmth, such as her blankets. They would find her, since she was so determined to learn, they would find her next to the fire, asleep, with ink freezing to her fingertips because she would fall asleep working on equations or teaching herself. They were quoted to say that they believed that learning was no occupation for a girl. Near where she lived, there was a new university opening up when she turned 18, which would be the time that she would be attending university. However, she was again not going to be able to attend, but that did not stop her. She would take classes such as chemistry as well as analyses classes. This professor right here, Joseph Louis Lagrange, became legendary to Sophie. At the end of his course, he wished for his students to write observations about the class. This made our fake student panic because she had been using the pseudonym M. LeBlanc, which wasn't false because she had a student in her classes who had those initials. However, when schooling became too hard, he dropped out and our, again, fake student stepped in and took his place. Professor Lagrange was so impressed by M. LeBlanc that he called for the student to come forward. Our, again, fake student was extremely nervous by this. She was going to have to come clean, so to speak. He took her in and was so very impressed that he was speaking to a woman and that a woman at the time was coming up with such great ideals because him himself had not come up with the things that she was putting out on her pieces of paper. He had a mission to make her gender just to be as equal to her talents. He had other great mathematicians write to her because she was so very talented. Most of them had to end up apologizing to her because they were under the impression that she wasn't as smart as them, but they later would have to apologize because Lagrange had so much hope and well wishes for her that they were proven wrong. There was a contest in her hometown when she returned from university. the competition was pushed back 3 times because the math given in the equation was just that difficult. Sophie was the only one to enter the competition. The first time she entered, she actually lost. Her Professor Lagrange, was one of the judges at the time, and he told her that her math was wrong, which it was because she had not been experienced in this type of math. But if we go back to that strong willed young lady, was she going to be the only one in the tournament? You betcha. But was she going to let that hold her back? Absolutely not. She came back fiercer and fiercer, and every time she tried. 1815 was the last year that this competition was open, and she won. The award was a 1 kilogram gold medal, where she did not attend the ceremony. She was sucking it to the man, as you would say, and she said, "No, I will not be there." Sophie stayed dedicated to math through her entire life. She never drifted from it, she never strayed from it. In her later years, she worked on Fermat's last theorem, which can be known as there are no natural numbers x, y, and z such that x to the n power plus y to the n power equals z to the n power, where there is no natural number bigger than 2. This theorem is most notably used in number theory mathematical problems. I chose Sophie, 1, because of her gender, because go women. But 2, I chose her because, what fierce woman would do such a thing? She was so fierce. She lived in a very aristocratic society, so yes, she was already given very much more access than the regular citizen to ideals, to access to information, to water, to resources, yes. However, to go against her parents' will was something that was unique of the time and fierce of the time, which is why I chose her. She was determined for more knowledge. She wanted to grow her mind. And so I'll leave you with this quote from her. "It matters little who first arrives at an idea. Rather, what is significant is how far that idea can go." Thank you all. Here is my source list. I just quoted stuff from my essay. Thank you very much. Have a great day.